How's it going, everybody? So, long story short, I got asked a question by one of my friends. It's like, yo, is the military really worth it? Is the army really hard? And to answer that question, the simple answer is no. The army's not hard at all. However, it is, I would say it's challenging at times. And I don't mean like in the physical sense, like it's challenging. Oh, that, I guess it could be physical too. But if you play like sports, and this is like if you was coming out of high school mentality, I guess that's the easiest way to compare how the military is. So just coming straight out of like high school, like I did myself, if you was active in school, maybe was in weight training, maybe played on the football, basketball team, etc., you would pretty much blend right in as far as the physical stuff goes. Not that hard. Anybody can do what we do if they're actually applying themselves for the most part. Outside of that though, I would say it's definitely challenging, more so for people with like families and things of that nature. Now, quick disclaimer, I am not a recruiter, never been a recruiter, don't really want to be a recruiter, I'm cool where I'm at as far as what I do, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it wouldn't be a bad gig at all. I heard a lot of good stories about being a recruiter, but I'm cool on that. I'm more so just bringing awareness as far as the military isn't hard, man. I think a lot of people overthink it. A lot of people are scared to change, and a lot of people are afraid to create a schedule for themselves. And what I mean by that is a lot of people, they call themselves like either free-spirited or, they kind of go with the flow or blow like the wind, etc., however they want to put it. But in reality, a lot of people are scared of schedule. A lot of people are scared of mandated, hey, you got to do X, Y, and Z. They're scared of repetition as far as the schedule goes. And I think a lot of times people just overthink it based off of what they see on the news or based off of what they see in the media, etc., They just, And I mean, it was the same way when I came in. When I came in, you had those people saying that this is how the military is. They had their opinions. But what was the deciding factor for me was those people that were speaking, they weren't even in the uniform. So, what I'm saying, where are they getting their scholarly sources from? That's what I kind of question. Like, hey, like, how do you know if you've never done it? Oh, I heard that, da, da, da. Even with this video, like, don't take what I'm saying and think that it's the know-all be-all, because I will say every duty station I've been to have been different. And I've been stationed in Korea, I've been stationed in Alaska, Fort Bragg, North Carolina 3 times, and I feel like another location. No, those are the 5. But, even with that, I've been deployed, I've done a couple different types of travel, I guess I could say it was mission-based. But yeah, I've been overseas, in the Middle East. I've been to a lot of countries out over there, like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, obviously, and just things of that nature. Traveled through Germany, I've never been stationed in Germany, but I've traveled through. But my point is, and I don't want to make this video long, I'm just answering the question. The military is not hard. It's actually relatively easy. You just have to be open-minded to change within yourself, because it's one of those things where once you become a soldier, you're a part of a team, you're part of an organization that's bigger than yourself. And if you're a selfless person, you wouldn't have an issue fitting right in. If you're a selfish person, that might be a little bit harder for you, but you can always adapt. You can always definitely, get the hang of things, get in the swing of things, and start understanding. And the easiest thing to do once you get in is become a sponge, become a knowledgeable sponge, meaning absorb everything that people give you, like, the good and the bad. Just absorb it, dissect it, and then craft or carve the type of soldier you want to be, or the type of leader you want to be once you're in those positions, of influence. And the reason I said influence versus rank is because you can very well influence your peers, what I'm saying? But you definitely want to make sure that whatever your goals are, you're accomplishing them. However, it will be some obstacles, because there are pros and cons of being in the military. I'm not going to sit here and pretend. If you're the type of person that like to travel on your own time, yeah, you can travel within the military. However, you would have to put in like leave, or you would have to make sure it fits the schedule based on the long range training calendar and things of that nature. You might not have those opportunities. So if you like to travel a lot, I would say, probably find yourself a job that travels, or, stick to whatever you're doing that's helping you travel. But you definitely will travel in the military. It might not be to where you want to go, but you definitely can't say that you never left your city or state or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes the country. One other thing I want to hit on too is take advantage while you're in. Like, if you decide to join while you're in, take advantage, because that's where the real money comes from. Like, people might ask, like, hey, what would you be if you was, where would you be in this world if you wasn't in the military? And the honest truth answer is probably somewhere rich. Don't think for 1 second that you're gonna get rich in the military. You're not, you know what I'm saying? Truthfully speaking, back in the day when I was growing up, I guess they could be considered middle class, military families. Now you're at the top of the bottom, and that's just based off of the current market, the current economy. And honestly, it'll keep you afloat for sure, but then you gotta practice good spending. You gotta have good financial literacy in order to actually make the money make sense. Because other than that, you're gonna be drowning in debt and drowning with bills, especially if you're a flashy person or you like to, live beyond your means, per se, or you got certain habits or certain vices that cost, it might put you in a little financial situation. But outside of that, I mean, where the wealth comes from by being in the military is simply acquiring new skills, acquiring certifications, or getting your degrees and things of that nature. And then it's what you do with that knowledge outside of the military. That's what brings that success, or can put you in better positions, because a lot of places they'll hire you just because you say you're a vet, or so it's all about how you build your resume while you're in, and that's really going to affect what's going to be the outcome once you get out, because you don't have to do 20 years. I'm currently on the path to do my little 20 years. I'm at 15 right now, so I still got a little ways to go. However, you know what I'm saying, I've gotten 2 degrees out of this so far. I've gotten civilian certs based off my MOS, which is a water treatment specialist. So far so good. Like, obviously I'm not in my house. I'm a homeowner as well, but I'm out here on a mission, so that's why I'm in this little barracks scenario background or whatever like that. But outside of that, you get out what you put in. It's just like the gym. If you go inside the gym and you rarely work out, you can't expect to be a bodybuilder. You know what I'm saying? The work you put in is what the output is gonna give you in return. There's no way to lie. You can't lie about it. You can't fake your results. They're gonna see, like, yeah, you did all those years and you're working at a local market, you know what I'm saying? Which isn't bad if that's what you have to do. However, they definitely give you opportunities to broaden your potential job seeking horizon once you get out. And whatever you do with that, you do with that. But I think I pretty much answered the question. Yeah, the military is not hard. I didn't go into deep details or anything about it, and I didn't want this video to be long. It's probably already a little bit too long, or longer than I anticipated. But definitely, if you guys have any questions about the military, if you ever was thinking about joining, definitely hit me up in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And definitely let me know what's your thoughts. I'll answer, as politically correct as I can, any questions that you have, if they're kind of, beyond the typical questions, like, hey, how much do you guys get paid? You can go online and see that. Just little things like that. But it's one of those things where if you don't know it, your mind can wander. You know what I'm saying? And you can go down a rabbit hole of videos talking about the military, this, that, and third. Should you join the Army in 2025 or, even 2026? I'm not going to, we don't need to do all those catchy, titles and things of that nature. Straight black and white. this is what the Army is, because it's a regulation for almost anything you can think of. You know what I'm saying? And there's really no secret. It's not like, you know what I'm saying, they're hiding their hand or whatever. One thing I will say is, if you're not good with authority, you'll have a little bit of trouble. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know when to fight, when to flight. You gotta understand it's a hierarchy. So it's not like when you get in the Army, it's you're a part of the land of the free. Like, no, you are a government employee, and they gonna work you, but then they gonna make sure you get paid as well. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know, do what you please with that information, but it ain't gonna be nothing crazy. It's just, you know, long hours. You do PT in the mornings. You go in at 9, maybe 9:30, get off at 5, and that's in a good world scenario. You know, you'll have times where you get off late, as I don't know what. You'll have times where you'll get off early. It's a hit or miss, because when you're working salary, because we don't work hourly, we work salary. So when you're working salary, hey, they got you till they say go home, you know. So definitely, like I said, make sure that you guys like, share, comment, subscribe. Definitely hit me up in the comment section, ask any questions. This video was literally just saying, no, the Army's not hard. It's relatively easy. It's just systems and things in place to where you would have to definitely get used to and definitely adapt to at times. But other than that, this is easy money, man.